Hello everyone. I'm going to give this a whirl. I'm going to do the opening round. Just give it a couple of minutes. Sometimes I can't figure this game out. Opened 8 legendary crates in a row, got nothing, absolutely nothing. Then opened 2 and got this. Antonelli and Lauda. And that tipped me over 130%. So basically, my year is done. I have absolutely nothing to race for because I'm never getting anywhere near 140. Yep, 250 days, that's what I was aiming for, and that's what I've got. So there's absolutely no incentives to do any more races from now until the end of the year. But anyway, I managed to qualify on my third attempt, which was kind of weird because the first attempt I got 175 and didn't make it. Second attempt I got 173 and didn't make it. Third attempt I got 171 and did make it. So, weird. Oh, if I don't choke to death in the meantime. Anyway, where are we? Let's go have a look at the group, because I imagine I'm about to get smashed. But at least I managed to get Lauda, so at least I should make it through. Oh, 94th. Wow. dread getting to the top. How many? So what have we got so far? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 perfect scores. Oh look, there's Ezra. Mateo. Curry sniffer. Mind boggles. Oh well, even if you get 400, you're only 20th. Jesus. Oh well. Let's see what happens. Not interested in their useless little crates. Let's go. Power unit. Yep. Man, look at those stats. They're crazy. Oh well. Okay, let's go. Let's see what happens. Wonder how long the stream will last before it crashes. A week later. I don't even care if I don't get through till tomorrow. I really don't. But we shall see what happens. Where'll I go? Let's go this way. Man, that corner really sucks. Well, that was easy enough. Okay. Now, I'll take that. Or do I take this? Take this. Respondi, hello. Oh, it's not raining. Ednaldo, how you doing? Yeah, I feel that would happen. That's cool. up first pass. First and fourth. That's not bad, I suppose. Thanks, ref. Oh, imagine getting the podium stars and not getting enough to upgrade it. Here we go, pain time. Vegas. Hey clone, thanks man. Yeah, Podium Stars Legends, man, they send it through the roof. Hey Sabo. How you doing, man? Oh, I know this is going to hurt. This is going to be one of the most boring tracks in F1 history. Let's see how bad the start is. Come on, Santa, do your shit. Well, it was better than I thought. Well, there you go, Raph, you learned something. So I think it was down to the drivers more than anything. Thanks, Lobo. Yeah, I know what you mean, Raph. You get stuck and everything just drives past you. Yeah, it's true, Clone. You stick normal epics on, you're like 19th and 20th. I wasn't even going to bother doing this GP. And then, like, I tried qualifying on Wednesday, didn't make it. Tried qualifying Thursday, didn't make it. Friday, I almost didn't do it, and then I decided, oh yeah, well, I'll give it one more go. I got less points than the other 2 days and qualified 15th. It was like, oh, this is going to be a painful weekend. Then I opened two legendary crates. I got Podium Star Antonelli in the first one, and then I got Lauda in the second one. But previously I'd opened 8 legendary crates in a row and got nothing. And also by getting both of those, it tipped me over 130%, so I'm happy. Yeah, I'd love to see how you get a top 5 quality in GPs in this game. Like in duels, no problem. These 2 drivers qualify like 1-2. And even with the Verstappen podium stars, it qualified like 1-3. Yeah, I ground away, race for days. Got 8, and in total got 8 legendary crates. Got nothing. Absolutely nothing. And then, yeah, but I'd basically given up. And then pulled the 2 to tip me over 130. It was like, I can't work this game out. I seriously can't work this game out. I love Bahrain as a track. It's so much fun to race on. Yeah, pretty well, pretty much. That's right, Raph. When you stop trying, you get what you want. Or when you don't need it, you get what you want. Look, I don't know how many times I've needed a part and I've like 2-3 weeks couldn't get it. And then when I don't need it, especially like after it's been boosted, the day after, like the Monday after it's boosted, boom, I get it. And I'll tell you something, if I never see Doohan's face again after this year, I'll be a happy person. I don't know how they can call him a hot prospect when he did 5 races and hasn't been seen since. Well, that wouldn't be hard. They were so low. Like, I worked it out. One of them was 0.2%. Like, it worked out you had a 1 in 500 chance of getting the asset. And that's 1 in 500 legendary crates. Like, it's ridiculous. And when you only get, I think it's about 16 in every 1,000 races. Oh, well, a whole 1%. Anyone would think they were manufacturing them physically out of gold. Well, there's an odd setup for you. Where'd you end up? 6th and 9th. It's not bad with that setup. A whole 3%. What annoys me is when they make the offers, like there's an offer, I think it says like podium star offer. You're not guaranteed of getting a podium star. You know, if you're going to call it a podium star offer, at least guarantee you get a podium star. Even if it's like, was it Hajar and Behrman? You know, like, you don't even get ones you've already got. You just don't get any at all. Oh, here comes the pain. Brazil. Brazil in the wet. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 100%, ref. This one will be painful. If I get any more than 40 points, it'll be a miracle. What do we got? Better check, make sure. Yeah, exactly. It's just, I don't know if it's just my imagination, but wet tracks seem so slow this year. Doesn't matter how good your car is, it just seems so slow. Yeah, that's what I'm using. I don't think there's not really any strategy in a wet race. Like it usually just ties you into everyone into the same strategy. 16, 17. Yeah, at least it's not last. If I get into the top 10 by the end of the first lap, I'll be amazed. Oh, almost. Oh, well, there's one. Oh, it just looks so slow. Oh, we should just stop jumping around. I don't know where the others are. Oh, wow, McLaren's are miles in front, so that's not happening. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh, look at Norris, even on wets, it's like he's got a rocket up his arse. Oh, I thought that was first. God, first it's got to be McLaren, doesn't it? Well, I've got to say that's a surprise. I just wish they didn't dive to the left every time that the race started. Results would be very much different. Yeah, I'm over the moon with that one. Same boost, but I didn't have louder. Odd setup. Spa. Spa. Lots of races. Plus, winning contender in like the first week helped. I did contend. I went to Series 9 and sat there for months and like did really well in contender, and just that and a lot. Oh, plus I rarely let crates just sit there and time out. You know, lots of sprints and just a lot of racing. I don't need time management in Spa, so I'm going to try something different. Hang on, forgot, what is it? Spa used to be speed, now it's power unit. Yeah, there was a lot of races. Plus I rarely lose, so I get a lot of crates. I think out of 8,000 races I've only lost about 250. Oh, God, no, I did. Here we go. I'm going to try something different. Yeah, I don't have a 9 to 5 job, so I can play all day, every day if I want to. I only work at the most 1 day a week. The joys of being a musician. I'm going to try something different. I want to know if this will work. Yeah, but being a race steward, that's for fun. You know, the music side of it's serious business, but being a motorsport official, that's fun. Plus, I'm also a tight ass. You know, I refuse to buy outrageous price tickets to go see car races. That's how I got into it in the first place. I didn't want to pay outrageous prices for the tickets to go and see the car races, so I became an official, so I got in for free. That was back in the days when every penny counted. What's your problem? Eh? My cat's here, wants to go outside, but it's like 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, I'm in Australia. It's Norris on mediums. 5 laps on mediums, for real? I suppose that's what you can do when you don't push. That's nuts. No. Yeah, 6 p.m. Yeah, Norris is mad fast. But how he does fight, like 5 on mediums is crazy. Why would you bother? But then again, I don't know who writes the strategies. It's not what I'd be using. My philosophy is if you can use softs, use softs. Five hards, pointless. As soon as you get into the window where you can end on softs, if you've got to stop, stop and put them on. I don't see why you just leave yourself one lap. Well, that worked rather well. One mistake I see a lot of players use is they use the tyres right up until they run out of tyre, until it's like almost empty, until they're almost done. Jeez, what a difference a boosted driver makes. Look at qualifying. Six hards, you have to be so slow, but the problem is you wouldn't be. I've seen them do 6 hards in Singapore a few times. My cat's very annoyed at me at the moment. It's sitting here staring at me as if it's like about to tear my leg off or something. Oh, what do we got? Power unit. Okay. I'll try something else in Spa. In Abu Dhabi, I mean. No, if he goes 6 hard, man, you should be able to drive straight past him. Might take you 5.5 laps to do it, but you should be able to. Oh, smashed. Okay. Qualified P9. I wonder what level he is. Oh, he's got the wrong setup. He's all qualifying and no speed. Oh, I hate how they jump around. Where is he? Oh, crap. Knew that was going to happen. One and three. Oh, there's P2. Centre works great for me. I've got to say, this is a better round than what I was expecting. Pity I don't get extra points tomorrow. But yeah, two stops don't work. They used to work really well. Level 2 cross, level 2 louder. We're qualifying 110. Man. Where'd you end up? 6th and 8th. Would have done better if you'd had the right setup on. But anyway. I tell you, doing this live is a lot faster than the way I used to do it. What have I got? So if we get 53, it's what? 320. 420. So where's that put it? 12th. Maybe 10th. Man, 420 and you're 10th. What have we got? 6 perfect scores. Yeah, I'm getting killed tomorrow. But I don't really care. I saw one, I can't remember who it was. Their group had 32 perfect scores. Like 32 perfect scores. Imagine getting a perfect score and you're 32nd. Man, I'd just quit the game after that, I reckon. Yeah, level 3. There'll be a few, but maybe 10? Did I change this? I didn't have to, did I? Yeah, who knows? Like, there'll be a few though, because I'd raced a few that my win streak got beaten by a guy with a team score of 1904, and he had a level 3 Prost and a level 4 Mansell. And like, when I saw it, it was like, are you kidding me? All I saw was the credit card burning with friction. Look, I'd love to know how much it cost his credit card to get that, because that's a lot. But when I saw his team score come up, it was like, oh, that's the end of this one. Just one. It's the only one I've seen over 1900. And believe me, it was 1900. Like, he absolutely killed me. Like, I think he lapped everything up to P4. He just destroyed everything. Like, it was just nuts. What have I got? China. Me, I've got 10,354. Yeah, I didn't even know you could get to 1900. But then when I saw his drivers, it was like, oh yeah, that explains it. Yeah, I don't know what the maximum is you can get. Go away, Piastri. You might be an Australian, but you're a pain in the arse. You knew he was bad as your teammate. There's a trick to it, clone. If you've got no power unit, your car almost stops stone dead. If you notice, when I went down the back straight with DRS on, I'd turn off the speed before I got to the back last corner, and I would keep just a little bit of speed, a little bit of power unit, to then get around that corner. But if you've got no... My philosophy is if you've got no power unit, your car goes slower. But yeah, that last corner onto the straight in China, make sure you've got power unit. You've got to have about 7% minimum. Vortex. Wow, that's different. Chaos Core and Vortex against Turbojet and Edge Cutter. The one after the hairpin, the one where you come onto the front straight, onto the pit straight. You've got to make sure you've got some power unit for that corner. No, but what you can do with the hairpin, if you turn it just as you come onto the back straight, and you turn it off just before the hairpin, it'll actually make it around the corner without running off the track. But then it gives you just that little. Then as soon as you get around and it straightens up, hit the power again, and you'll get around that last corner. Yeah, you can do that too. Thirteenth. Drop 4 points in your 13th. What do we got? 6 with perfect scores. Thing is, tomorrow that could be all upside down. Let's have a look. So qualifying was that. Look, that's nuts. Wednesday was 175 and I failed. Thursday was 173 and I failed. Friday was 171 and I made it. I made it 15th. That's not a bad round. I'm rather pleased with that. That's way better than I thought. I was going to do. I thought I'd get absolutely belted in Brazil and Vegas. So I'm rather pleased with that. What was the tie break? 28.9. These are my stats. So I've got 8,750 plus races, and I've won nearly 8,500. So what have I lost? 260? Yeah, if I hadn't come up against that guy with 1,900, my win streak would be over 600 now. Look, that sucks. Do all that work just takes one race. I wish they'd put these orders in the order that these medals in the order that you won them. Anyway, that's not bad. I'm rather pleased with that. No, he's a real player. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Oh, and he boosted. Yeah, as well. No, I'm hopeless at Challenger. Look, I'll show you something in Challenger. Where are we? Hang on, go back. I'll show you this. Go to the Hall of Fame. Right. Go to 23. Go to medals. Right. Top 10 Challenger. But then look at all the contenders. Right. I absolutely suck at Challenger. I love this year. 2023 was a great year to play this game. Look, see, I can't even get a podium in Challenger, but I've got like 27 P1s in contender. Look, it's just horrendous. I think last 24 was the same. This is one of the reasons I've got so many boosts too. Yeah, see, I can't get anywhere at Challenger. I think like 22. 22 was a little better. I don't think I've ever got a P1 in Challenger. I think they're the only, like those two podiums, they're rare, believe me. Look, see, just terrible. I don't know what 21 was like. I think 21 was just as bad. Yeah, look, see, I can't even qualify in Challenger. Horrendous. Anyway. In 23, you used to get 390 boosts to win Challenger. And like, yeah, when you get nearly 400 boosts to win and you win 27 of them, like that's 10,000 boosts. Like, I don't know what you get in Challenger this year. But in past years, the last month, you used to get double assets and they'd up the boosts to like, yeah, nearly 400. It doesn't look like they're doing it this year. Where are we going? Hang on. Let's open a crate, couple of crates. It's pointless, but you know, may as well have a look. Hey, doing? Oh man, doing. Look, I know Jack Doohan. I know his old man Mick as well from the races, and he's a nice kid, but he's a pain in the arse in this game. Hey, nothing like Max Stack Epics to top your day off. $6,350. I still can't believe he actually got a drive in F1. Special drivers, okay. Special drivers. I've got all the podium stars except Sainz and Norris, and then I've got Senna and Lauda. That's it. Oh, I've got all these, of course. Everybody's got these. Everybody's got all of these. Seems most people miss Lando. He must be coming up in a GP soon then. I had Verstappen, Piastri, Russell and Leclerc before I got the other three, which I thought was a bit backwards. But, where are we? That's all I'm interested in. 50% crate timer for 250 days. Like, that's massive. That's what, eight and a bit months? 8.5 months? Do I think we'll see anyone with 140%? Maybe. I think there will be people with it, but, you know, they'll be paying their debt off for the next 10 years. Yeah, but what they do, Raph, when they hand out these crate timers for X amount of days, you get almost none, almost zilch crate timers in your pit pass. This season we're in now, most people got 3 months, got 90 days, and I worked it out. I thought, oh yeah, that'll be about, you know, 4 months all up. But then for the first 10 pit passes, you got none, I don't think. I don't think you got any crate timers at all. Yeah, if you got crate timers as well, and like they just add on. Like, imagine getting 8 months worth of crate timers that are what? At least 3 days a month, or 3 days per pit pass. So there's another month almost. You're not going outside, I don't care. Yeah, you can scream all you like. It does make me wonder though, why are Hutch being so generous with the crate timers? What nasty little trick have they got up their sleeve they're going to drop on us? You know, are they going to put up the price that it costs to buy, to open a crate? You know, like, I just have this bad feeling that there's some nasty little surprise coming. Because, like, $250 days, that's a lot. And the majority of people will probably get to that. Yeah, basically, Raph. From playing this game for so long, whenever they do something you think is them being generous, there's something else they drop on you, like that. It's a bummer. Yeah, but it's not the crate time. The boosts are the big problem. Like, I've got 95,000 boosts, right? But if you've only been playing this for a couple of years, you're burning through every boost you've got. So for the first four or 5 years, you didn't have to use boosts in jewels. So they just kept racking them up. But then the last couple of years, they made it so you had to use boosts. Well, eventually even good players are going to run out of them. You know, unless you're a long-term player like me and Azza, and I think maybe DRS, maybe Andy. I don't know how long he's been playing. You know, you're eventually going to burn through all your boosts. Once you burn through all your boosts, you're done. You know, you've got Buckley's chance of winning. You know, you've got Buckley's chance of progressing with any regularity or speed. If you can get away with it, that's fine. But a lot of people can't. If you They've turned this game into so much pay to play that if that's what you're going to keep coming up against, you're losing. And it has a knock-on effect. You lose the boosts, you don't get the coins, which means you can't do the upgrades because you're not getting the crates. And you just stagnate. The one trick with this game is don't open the next series. Because as soon as you open the next series, you've got to race in that series to get the pit pass. Well, you have a look at mine, right? I'll show you, right? I've got 10,354 flags. But watch this, right? Series 12 is maxed out. Series 11 is maxed out. But none of the others have any flags at all. Oh yeah, that one's got 14 because I screwed up. The only ones that have got flags are Series 2 and Series 1. None of the others have any. Now, is that beneficial? Tell you the truth, I don't know. Yeah, that's the whole problem. It makes you, the way they've got the game designed, it makes you go up a series before you're actually ready to go up a series. Yeah, I don't know, because I've always had really strong cars. So a lot of times I'll get players that have higher flags but a weaker car. What's that cat doing? So yeah, I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, you can, but when you have a look at it, if you go, what that forces you to do, the first one you can get, well, now they've got their web store, so it's a bit different. But it used to be, well, here it's $180, right? So to buy that was one of. And after that, you had to go down to the dollar store, the buck store, to buy them, which doesn't give you any extra boosts, doesn't give you a crate. But now they've got the web store, so you can go there and you get bonus bucks. So that's a plus, kind of. Well, the pit pass has been out for 5 years. The first couple of years, you used to get a decent amount. You used to get maybe 100 a month. Now you get, what, 50? 70 if you're lucky? But even in the free-to-play side, you used to get a decent amount of boosts too. Now you bugger all. You know, 10 self-control in the free-to-play. It's a bit pointless. Yeah, I saw the one in the store. I didn't even look, actually. I didn't take that much notice of how much they were. Like, you know, if we go here and go here, like I've got thousands of, you know, I've got 6,000 self-control. You know, there's just, and there used to only be like 50 boosts. Now there's like 63 or something. You know, 5,000 ballast, 3,800 warrior. You know, obviously you can see I don't use them much. You know, Hex used to be a brilliant boost. It used to be, they used to have wet weather boosts. And Hex was the king. Then they took them out. They took the wet part of the boost away and Hex just became another boost. You know, 3,000 Samba, which is pretty useless. Tune-in used to be one of the best boosts. I don't think I've used it in 2 years. You know. There's another one. Deadfast. Deadfast used to be just so overpowered. It was crazy. And now it just doesn't seem to work. Kawaii was another one that was absolutely magic to use. You know, Reindeer, probably one of the most useless boosts in the game. Like, you know, just, there's so many boosts you don't even use now, so I just blow them in jewels. Yeah, Deadfast was crazy. Like in Baku, you could have a car that was 2/3 of the way down the straight, and you could come onto the straight, hit Deadfast, and you would overtake it before it would get to the first corner. Like, it was just mad. You could, like, it was unbelievably quick. Then they ruined it. Is that where Schooner came from? I wondered that. Oh yeah, there's boosts here. I can't remember where they came from. But this is like 6 years of collecting them. The one benefit they did was this. Oh, come on. Where are you? These. They were a big incentive, but only 100. And what I could never figure out is Fisichella, 50 Fisichella at 200. Why? I can't understand why they made Fisichella the 200th milestone. Well, they give you 100 of all these, but they only gave you 50 frost. It was like, oh, come on, Hutch. Anyway, that's life. Yeah, but race starts a bit hit and miss as well. You know, you can... The further back you start, the less effective race start can be. Because you just run into a whole like car park full of cars and you're going nowhere. If I'd have gone to Series 12 sooner, I might have actually maxed out a few of the epics. But as it turned out, it would have probably been pointless anyway. Because I don't think you're getting 140% unless you max out your podium legends. Well, here's something, Clone. I've always had this theory that they have tyres matched to a track, right? Take, for instance, hards in Abu Dhabi, right? They work really, really well. But you put hards on, say, Jeddah, and they seem so slow. And there's tracks where if you put softs on, they don't seem to perform. But if you put mediums on, your car flies like a rocket. So I often wonder whether tracks are matched or whether tyres are matched to certain tracks. And I also think those free crates, when you get to Series 12, should have an epic in them. You know, what's the point of having 3,000 more rares and 10,000 more commons? Like, just seems a bit pointless to me. You could be right, Raph. I used to think that a couple of years ago. Well, there was actually a couple of years ago. There was like a cheat code. It wasn't a cheat code, but that's basically what it felt like. If you had a pit time at 3.5 seconds, your car flew. Your car was really fast. If you had a faster pit time, your car was slower. Even though you might have had more speed or you might have had a better setup, if you had a faster pit time, your car was slower. Well, I'll show you a setup, right? Well, here, in Series 12 at the moment, a few times I've accidentally used this setup. Oh, bummer, go back. I've used this setup, right? Speed setup. And absolutely killed them. But then you've got this setup, because it's a power unit, or you've got, oh no, that's a cornering. There's two cornering setups. This setup here is the max corner, and then you've got this one here, which adds a little bit more speed. In Singapore, I couldn't win a race with this track, with this setup. Just couldn't do it. Used this setup, first race 1-2. So, you know, I think there are hidden setups and hidden stats in this game, but, you know, that's just my theory. Oh yeah, Jules, and the way Jules and GPs are now is how it used to be about 4 years ago. And everyone got annoyed with it, and everyone kept complaining to Hutch. They wanted GPs to act the same as Jules acted. So for a couple of years, that's what they did. If in Jules you qualified 2 and 3, in a GP you'd qualify 2 and 3. Then they brought in track stats, and track stats threw everything up in the air. You know, and why did they bring in track stats? Because people kept complaining, we've got all these parts, we've got to upgrade that we never use. Well, who cared? You know, you could nail one setup that worked, and everybody would eventually end up with that one setup, so it was fair between every player. But, you know, you hear people go on about, like, what was another one? There used to be, the back straight in Abu Dhabi. You got that little kink right in the middle of it, right? In some races, your car would come down there and it would do the dog leg, the full-on dog leg. And in other races, it would come in and it would cut the corners. People started complaining that that wasn't fair. So what'd they do? They made it all so it dog legs. Whereas the people that were complaining actually wanted it to be so that they all cut the corners. Now they complain that it dog legs and it's too slow. Yeah, everyone complained about how fast the cars would come out of the pits in Canada. Why? Your cars did the same thing. Like, I don't know how many times my cars would come out of the pits of Canada and overtake 2 or 3 cars before they get to that little dog leg. You know, like, people complain thinking that they'll use the advantage of their complaint, and they don't. They just make it so that it's the worst of you know, you're complaining, oh, well, some cars come out of here really quick and other cars come out really slow. So they complain thinking that they'll change it so that they all come out really fast, And what they do is they make it so they all come out really slow. You know, like, I don't see the point in complaining about what goes on in the game if you advantage from it, you know, sometimes. If everybody can do it, then let everybody do it. Yeah, exactly. Why moan about a good thing? You know, here's another one. You used to be able to go into the pits and before the car stopped, you could change the tyres. You know, if you accidentally put on wets or selected wets and you noticed it as it went into the pits, you could change it. People complained about it. So now you can't. You know, like, why complain about that? Like, it doesn't make sense to me sometimes. Yeah, exactly. It's not an advantage if everyone can do it. Yeah, exactly, John. You know, people used to go on about the swiping. Admittingly, I didn't understand what it was all about for ages. Like, I mean, months and months and months. I just didn't take any notice of it. And then someone actually showed it on a live stream what you could do. And it was like, well, okay, why are people complaining about it? Everyone can do it. I don't know, it boggles the mind sometimes. Oh, it's 4:30 in the morning. I got to get some sleep, man. I used to hear him talk about it, but I never knew what it was. You know, if there's something in the game that isn't working for me, I try and figure out a way where it does work for me. Like, I don't understand. Like, people complain about the team score. And if you're constantly getting belted by a team score, it's probably because your car's not strong enough. You're racing in a series, you're too high or something. Like, I never tried it. I was always worried of getting 3 points. You know, it was like, what was the other thing people... Oh, they wanted team orders so you could swap the car around. And I used to think, why do you want to put that in the game? All you've got to do is put one on conserve, one on boost, and they'll swap around. Well, they complained about it and went on about it for ages. Eventually Hutch did it. And what happens now, if you've got a car in front on mediums and a car behind on softs, and you've got a car in the middle, if you boost the car on softs, the car on mediums will stop. And it'll let the car in the middle past so that the car on softs can overtake. Like, now they complain about that, you know. You know, there's lots of things to complain about in this game, but I don't understand why you complain about things that can have a negative outcome. You know, like, the only thing I really would complain about in this game is I wanted them to put the order of medals, like the medals in the order that you've won them, ever since the first year I played it. That's the only thing I'd like them to change. But for some reason they go and add all this other stuff, and they put shit in the game that nobody asked for, but they won't change that. Yeah, but that costs money, Raf. Legendary tracks means they've got to buy a licence. Yeah, I've got Discord. I'm on a few Discords and I'd rarely ever look in them, because it's just people whinging and complaining, and it just drives me nuts. You know, you see people melt down because their car won't overtake, or they drop a couple of points in a race. You know, like, you're not playing for millions of bucks. You know, it's just a game. Don't get so worked up over just a game. You know, if you were playing for $1,000 a race or $1,000 a GP, fine, complain all you like. But you're not. You know, at the end of the day, in May you're going to lose it all anyway, every year. You know, it's not that big a deal to drop a point. You know, you don't get a gold medal for getting a perfect score. You know, I don't know how many times I've literally screwed up in a GP and cost myself a P1. But it's just, oh, well, that's life, you know, move on next week. You know, in one race, I failed to pit 3 times. So in one GP, I failed to pit 3 times, and 2 of those times were in the same race. And it was like, oh, geez, I screwed that up. You know, like, yet I've seen people absolutely lose it over doing something like that. And it's just, calm down, man. It's just a game. But I think part of the problem is they pour so much money into it that when it doesn't go their way, that contributes to them losing their mind over it. And personally, I just think it's hilarious. I think it's just the funniest thing to watch when people lose their brain over something that's, at the end of the day, means nothing. Yeah, CC points, exactly. I didn't spend mine until, October, November, something like that. And not because I had to, just because I felt like it. You know, you see people, they go out and they'll buy a Series 12 driver. Well, that's fine for a couple of weeks. But eventually you'll upgrade your other drivers and they'll become better. Then you're stuck with a Series 12 driver for however long it takes you to get to Series 12 before it becomes useful again, and you've wasted, 500 points or whatever. I think you should save CC points for when you need an upgrade. You know, you want 2 or 3 cards to use a part that's boosted in a GP, and then it's got some purpose to it. Otherwise, CC points to me are all about the crate timer. That's it. You know, I don't care about the frame. I don't care about the crate you get. I don't care about what you can buy in the store. It's all about that crate timer. But anyway, people, I'm going to crash out. Yeah, exactly, Clint. Just buy it when you need it, when you've got a reason. You know, when it actually does some good, some long-term good. Not just instant, you know, for a couple of weeks good. And what happens, well, another thing too, you go and buy a Series 12 driver, it sends your team score through the roof, which means you're going to get bots, but the problem is you've got a good driver and a crap car. You know, and when you're in the lower series, a crap car makes a big difference. Anyway, I really have to go, guys. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for the chat. Oh, hang on. Oh, bugger, where am I? Let's see how far I've dropped. Oh, here we go. God. See how far we dropped before. Come on, start her up. Have you all done your opening rounds yet, or you're leaving it till later? See, we're back to the old F1 Clash screen. Yeah, I was going to leave it until like 2 or 3 hours before it closed, but then when I scored louder, it was like, nah, I've got to go and do this now. And we're at 14th. I wonder how far it'll drop. Probably end up in the 30s. Anyway, thanks for dropping by. I'll see you all later. Now I've got to figure out how to turn this off. There we go. See you guys. Thanks for the chat. Oh, shit. What have I got to do?